Hey, what's up? 7:45 risk on the student. How you feeling, Katie?
I'm feeling a little bit tired, but I'm ready to get going. I'm super hyped. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay.
Oh, sorry. How are you feeling?
All right. Good. Good. I was waiting for it. I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe not as upbeat as you are. You're
Oh,
very upbeat, but
I'm very
you actually you lighten my mood a little bit.
good.
Ready to get this pod going.
Okay, let's talk about it. So today, Zach and I wanted to talk to you guys about the grander generation, the GBP, just an update on what's going on, what we've learned, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
think we'll just give some context. If you guys don't know, we talked about this on the podcast before. Zach and I have an initiative called the Grand People Project, where we go to assisted living homes around California and we help out and we host like game nights, bingo, Jeopardy, tech help nights. We've done three events, and we're hoping to do some more. And we've gotten to two different assisted living homes. But again, we're hoping to get a third. Last night, Zach and I went to as you guys saw on our Instagram, we went to, hopefully you're following that, by the way.
Yeah. Link in the
Yes.
in the
Sam
description.
45 podcast. We were at the mental health kids night at the Grove, and then we also, but before that, we held our event. It was a tech help night, and it was pretty good. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, this was definitely our most successful one yet. And I think successful both in planning, but also in learning and experience.
Yeah,
This one kind of put our skills to the test a little
for
bit
sure.
of just like being like a human kind of and having patience and learning to help others. And I feel like these are all pretty like humanitarian values and skills to have. And I especially think that learning to be patient now will definitely help you in the future because again, patience is key, and especially such like a fast paced
Yeah.
lifestyle, learning to have some patience and like take a step back is like it's really good.
So I think our first event we had maybe 5 people, but this time we got double the turnout, so we were very excited about that. I think something that we've learned from we had a bingo night, a Jeopardy night, and this tech help night is that you have to consider more things than just what you would do if you're hosting like a hangout with your teenage friends, because they're just accommodations that need to be made that you might not think of. For example, last event we did a bingo night. And you would just, oh, bless you.
Sorry, thank
We
you.
would think that you just roll the thing and you say the thing and be like, oh, V29. But some people can't hear correctly. So they had big signs that have like letters on it. And even if I had like index cards prepared, some people can't see very well. So they have to be very big signs. And then some people can't hear very well. So you have to really yell it.
And enunciate.
Yeah. And it's less a game of like who can get there first, whatever, and more of like okay, we're gonna wait for everyone to find their letters, make sure everyone's got their letters. And it's not like you're treating them as if they're slower and whatever. It's just like I feel like it's like respectful and like
Yeah.
trying to be accommodating. And there's just like you have to be a lot more like, I don't know if it's like selfless is the word, but just like more like you're seeing it from different angles or like
Yeah, you pretty much almost gaining a new perspective.
yeah,
You kind of
gaining a new
took my what I was about to say, sort of. But what Katie and I sort of realized is that you can spend however much long you want to try planning this event, even accommodating. But until you really interact and experience with the grander people, or just like people different than yourself, then it's only then when you can truly understand what their experience is like from day to day. And so that was definitely last night, since it was like probably our biggest event yet, we definitely learned the most, and the next following events are definitely going to be even better.
Yeah, so I think if you ever want to start a product yourself, an important thing to remember is just to just do it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, of course you want to plan it out and try to get it to a pretty good plan, but it doesn't have to be a perfect plan because you'll never think of some of these things. Like some of these things,
Yeah.
you have to like experience it first to know. And even the grander generation, they're so nice. Everyone that we've spent time with, they're so nice in helping us. Like, be like, here's some recommendations. Like, here's how you can be accommodating. Here's some things that we see that you would need to remember for other events. And yeah, they give like advice on what they wish, what events they want to come. Like they were saying they want a poker night, casino night, something like that, or like Family Feud. And so it's just important to like also like keep your ears and your mind open. I think oftentimes we like dismiss some of the grander generations because they might say things that are like not very politically correct or like didn't keep up with the times. And you just have to be open minded and understand and come from a place of compassion. And then open ears too, because they're very wise on their own.
They are. I completely agree. Yeah, I also just want to touch on the thing you said earlier. It's like also a big part of it is learning like, shoot, we didn't plan for this. What are we going to do here in the moment? like those kind of like in the moment
Adaptability.
adaptability. Yeah. The grander people, they're adaptable every day and to every situation, but like it really teaches you how to like think on your feet and pivot. But yeah, I also wanted to touch on the latter half of what you were saying and just kind of agree like they were like once all the attention was on them at one point in
Yeah.
time too, and especially like I mean our world is definitely super political now as it and but it was also super political back then and it always has been throughout time. So just like think about how back when they were our age what they were doing.
Yeah. And they're just like very smart. And I think a lot of times we dismiss them and think like, oh, they're gonna be a little slower. But sometimes most of them are not actually,
Yeah,
because
it's
they're
almost the
not.
opposite.
Yeah, they're
Like they
almost opposite.
almost
They're very quick, smart, and witty. They're very on their feet, ready to pounce with knowledge, and
yeah.
they're very wise. And it's almost like they are complete adults. Like they've been living for some time. They know how this life works, and so they can totally keep up in conversation. They work great with disagreements, and they're like, no, you might be right with this point, but like here's another point. And so yeah, I think it's just like important to listen.
Yeah, I completely agree. At last night's event, even though I think actually what's funny is the stereotype with like grander people seeming like not as smart or quick is just because they're like not as good with technology. And just if you think about it relatively, this is like extremely new to them.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a possible where this possible stereotype could come from. But once like we taught it to them and they kind of figured it out, they were getting it like every try and
Yeah.
they were like learning all sorts of things that to be honest are pretty recent for like us as well. And yeah, and specifically this one grander guy, he previously was a chemist
Yeah.
and he was super smart, but what's also like interesting is he was really funny as well. So I bet you there's some correlation there, and they were all super funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
On a technological front, like to what you were saying, that like I think that some people they might like teach the tech to the person, but they don't really like help them,
explain it.
yeah, explain it and like help them
Ooh.
keep remembering. Oh, what?
It's like you know how like a doctor could probably like find like I don't know something wrong. It's like let's say you have like a broken arm or whatever, and it's like the doctor could be like, oh well, you have a broken here on your F1, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
explain it in super complicated doctor terms. Or but what the doctor's job is to take those really complicated terms and sort of like simplify them
Right.
and give them to you
Yeah.
because not everyone is a doctor. So
Exactly. Yeah.
and it's not just doctors who do that either. It's plenty of other people. But I feel like that's what sort of we accomplished last
Yesterday.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like you can like fish for a man and feed him for a day, or you can teach the man how to fish and he can feed himself for life type of vibe.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
wrote down all the instructions and everything that we taught them how to do so that they can use it in the future if they come up with the same issues or if they're trying to troubleshoot like a similar issue. Hopefully the advice we gave them. I gave a lot of general advice too, more like
Mm,
double click your phone and like remove all the apps because sometimes you just like your phone's overloaded.
yeah.
Restart your phone, how to access settings and like that type of stuff. And oftentimes it's a very similar mechanism for all tech things. Like you swipe to the left to delete things, oftentimes it'll have the same thing. So I think just like giving them something easy. Also, like we told all of our volunteers that like they should let them try it once on their own instead of you
Yeah.
just doing it and showing them because I
Uh-huh.
think this is what one of the ladies I helped, she's so smart.
Yeah.
And she was just saying like I learn best from doing. And I was like, we talk so much about like how like our students at school, everyone learns differently and we kind of forget that like that's for all people, not just like teenagers who are learning at like a real school.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what one thing I took away.
You know, it's kind of meta. Well, you guys know me. I like the meta thoughts. But it's like the grander people, they can teach us stuff from their experiences, but they can also teach us stuff from like interacting with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Just period. And so, yeah, that was my meta thought for the day, guys. Otherwise, I'm garbage. Oh,
Yeah,
no, I'm just
you don't even
yeah.
need to be here.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they teach us
Uh,
a lot through conversations that we have, and
yeah.
I think that's why Zach and I started this whole entire thing. And I think also one thing that we've also learned is that we went into it thinking like, oh, the generational gap is so big. And I mean, it is a pretty big gap from a wider scale, but also like in the conversations we have and what we talk about, we're not that different.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's also, yeah, I guess, like you said earlier, that's sort of why we started is because not only is there a lot to offer from both perspectives, but there's also a lot more in common than you'd think. And so there's like definitely been some stereotypes about like our generation and their generation kind of opposing each other. But I fear that it's kind of wrong. I think, no, I don't know why I said fear, but I believe that it's wrong. I mean, there could be some, but everyone has disagreements. But I feel that there's more agreements than
Yeah,
disagreements.
and there's something to say about being able to disagree with someone respectfully and learning how
Yeah,
to do that. I think that's like a life lesson everyone should know, and it's a great way to start is just by having conversations with people that might be more prone to disagreeing with you. And like you're not gonna yell at like one of the grand people, so you just to learn to be patient and just like understand and hear their side of it too. Like yeah, it's just a very good listening exercise. And I know a lot of our volunteers are actually middle schoolers, and I know that
yeah.
they take great pride in being able to help out and serve their community. And I think it's just a great so if you ever want to start something, I think, like,
Go
this is
for
your
it.
sign to do it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't be afraid to do it, and, like, they will also help you out and spread the word because though we think of grander people and we think, like, grandparents and, like, "Oh, surely they have grandchildren," whatever, some of them actually don't, and they really do appreciate the teenage presence, young people generation presence because it comes very rarely.
Like what my mom said is obviously uh she's not grand, but she has like a lot of more like millennial friends,
Mhm.
and she says she likes hanging out with them because like they keep her hip and
Yeah.
sort of like up to date. So this may is probably, I mean, this might be like a little more like of a bit of more of a gap, but still like, they appreciate it and we appreciate it too.
Yeah, so it's like a all like a you scratch my back situation, and everyone's. I think it's been a very great process that we've been going through, and we're continuing to improve and continuing to learn about what we can do to make all these events better. Yeah, but that's kind of what we've been doing about the Grand People Project.
Yeah, I also want to like just touch on the like appreciation part. Like, I think one of like the greatest things that I'm gonna like take away from last night was like the amount of times they said like thank you guys so much, this is so amazing what you're doing, and I just like really, I don't know, I like it stuck with
Yeah,
me because like it felt good to know like, oh, I'm not helping them just now but in the long term as
yeah,
well. So
and of
yeah,
course
that
it feels
was
great to
good.
be appreciated.
Yeah, that, I mean, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
in the moment and
Yeah,
everything.
and to help them out with something that they like constantly struggle with and just like know that they'll be at peace, they'll be less struggling and be more at peace in the future. It just feels really good.
Yeah, I completely
Yeah.
agree.
If you're in an assisted living home or someone with resources that could help us out and you want to be a part of this mission, feel free to email the Grand People Project. Obviously,
At the Grand People
project
Project
at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Yeah, yeah, to be very
Or
clear,
just
it's the Grand
Grand
People
People
Project
Project.
at
Yeah.
gmail.com, all lowercase. Yeah, we're really excited about what the future holds. We have another event in June, hopefully two events in June. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything else you want to add?
But keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
And
Follow the Grand People Project on Instagram too.
yeah, and if you'd like to volunteer, you can also reach
Sign
out.
up for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thanks. Bye
Bye.
bye.